Monte, what's it about your team this weekend?
Well, we got to do a better job of being able to get deeper in the game with our starting pitching. That was a big factor. In the losses for us is we were unable to get a deep start really in any of our starts. So but today obviously we had to go to the pen extremely early in the game with an offense that was very hot and had a lot of momentum going their way, and we're swinging the bats very, very well. It was going to be very tough to stop them. We needed somebody to step up. We just couldn't do that. We gave up 3 big innings today, and it was because of their bats. They swung the bats very well. They played very well. Their starting pitcher was outstanding today, and we just couldn't get enough going offensively. But you get down 5 runs in the first inning, it's very difficult to come back from that. We needed somebody to come in and stop the bleeding and be able to stretch it out, and just couldn't find a way to do it.
Coach, did you have any thoughts about second thoughts about going with the freshman Justin Wroblewski, or maybe starting Askew or Hennessy?
No, I don't have any second thoughts about the decision. I mean, obviously we're going into each weekend with who we feel like are the best guys to run out there. We needed to give Justin another start. He's had 2 starts. He's been okay. We needed to give him another start to see what he could do. We didn't want to hit any sort of panic button in the 3rd week of the season, but obviously we'll look at it after this weekend and we'll make adjustments if needed.
TJ Hopkins, his performance in the series as a Gamecock senior and a guy who never won a series against you guys, he was kind of personally motivated. What did you see from him over the weekend series?
Well, TJ, phenomenal hitter, just an unbelievable weekend. We couldn't find a way to get him out, and the problem was we didn't really have that many opportunities to try to pitch around him because, again, the guys that were hitting behind him and Olsen and Eister and those guys, I mean, those guys can swing the bats too, so you got to kind of pick your poison, not to mention Berryhill. Again, it was just, we tried to go in, we tried to change speeds, tried to elevate, and at the end of the day, he's extremely hot. He's a very dangerous hitter, and when we made mistakes, he made us pay.
What was your impression of Reed Morgan today? You hadn't seen before.
Well, he's tough. He throws a lot of strikes. He's going to be a guy that pitches to contact. He sinks the ball. He's got a good slider. He throws a lot of all-speed stuff to get you out front, and he'll throw that sinker after. Just a pure pitcher, just a true 3-pitch guy that pounds the bottom of the strike zone with 3 pitches and lets his defense work behind him.
I think maybe the South Carolina team flew under the radar a little bit as far as the rankings are concerned early in the season.
Well, I mean, I think, again, rankings typically are based on returners, and I know that they lost some guys, but you have to give their coaching staff a lot of credit. They brought in some excellent players, and they had some guys that are a year older and a year better coming back. But some of the guys they brought in obviously have had an immediate impact for them and swung the bats very well for them this weekend.
Monte, how concerned are you with your starting pitching, the way these guys didn't really get it done this weekend?
Well, they just didn't get it done. I mean, that's the way to sum it up. I mean, again, starting pitching, we feel like our bullpen's pretty good, and we've shown that it is pretty good. We weren't good today in any phases of the game, offensively, defensively, pitching, the whole 9. But pitching wise, we've got to find 3 guys that are going to be able to get us deeper into the ball game so that we don't have to stretch some of our better arms out earlier in a series. We were a little bit handcuffed, based on who we had already used in the first 2 games today, simply because we had to go to them so early in the first 2 games. So, again, our starting pitchers have got to be able to get us deeper in the game so that we can use some of our better relievers twice in a weekend to help us win series.
Would you imagine a shakeup of the starting rotation for next weekend, Monte?
Well, I think we'll certainly look at it. We'll talk about it. I'm sure tomorrow, we'll sit down and talk about it. We'll try to come up with a game plan moving forward so we can prepare for this weekend.
You're kind of holding on to Carson in case it got close and you needed him?
Well, we're going to use Carson in a safe situation, and again, it's a long season. We didn't want to run him out here until we felt like it was the right time to do so. We were strongly considering using him if needed on Friday night if we could tie the ball game up. And then even yesterday, and we pulled away a little bit yesterday and didn't have to use him, holding him for today. But again, there really wasn't a scenario to use him today. Bottom line was we were getting smacked around early in the game, and at that point I didn't want to bring Carson Spires in and pitch him 3 innings. He's more of a 1 to 2 inning guy.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.